drawing stuff. So suggest what you want me to draw, and I will draw it. For the simple cost of you having to write a comment explaining what you want me to draw. All right. Let's see here. Actually, hold on a minute. Let's see if I can make this go lower. How low can you go? All right. Let's see here. Yeah, that's still seems pretty good quality still. So we're good. We're good. All right. All right. All right. Let's see. Maybe my internet sucks. My internet has sucked recently. I will tell you that much. All right. So, as I was saying, I think it would be really cool if I started a company, basically creating, turning old shopping carts into like what do you call them? Go-karts. I mean, imagine how cool that would be. You take shopping carts and you just convert them into like really fast or really maneuverable go-karts. Um, Now there's a lot of different, like you'd think, oh, I can just slap an engine on it and it would work, but I think it would be a little more. It would be way more complicated than that. But I think if with a machine shop, with a basic old little machine shop, and with kind of the right tools, like a welding machine, and a drill press, I feel like you could probably just make welding machine, a drill press, and maybe a saw. You might want a saw for this. Actually, you would want a saw. But you could probably make it for not that much money. But I mean, shoot, maybe I'm showing how rotted my brain is from Fortnite. But I mean, tell me you wouldn't want to like drive around in a car, a little go-kart made from a shopping cart. I think that would be really cool. With that being said, like, dude, imagine, I don't know if you guys have been to New York, but imagine like going around the streets of Central Park in a go-kart. Like, dude, imagine how fun that would be. That's one thing we don't do. I think is kind of lost on this generation. Like, why don't we really do any like race? Seems like racing is like kind of gone. I don't think racing is like a thing anymore. And you can say, well, we got Formula One and we got NASCAR, but it's like, well, NASCAR, number one, okay, you're going really fast, but you're also like, you're going on the same stupid circuit. Connecting to steering. Oh, yeah. Steering. Oh, shit. I forgot about the steering part. Let me see here. How would you do steering? I'm assuming it would probably be manual. Probably just like a geared system. I don't think you would do assisted. It would just be like kind of a manual type steering, like a gear. Dude, imagine you did like what they did in like the old pirate ships. Um, yeah, so like a kind of yeah, actually, I don't really know how steering works. I know that there's like some sort of like, was it differential or something? Anyway, just do what a car does, but do it simpler. That's what I would say. So yeah, actually, it would be a little more complicated. It would be a little labor intensive. But I wonder if there's like like small Japanese cars where you could rip the steering out of them and put it onto this shopping cart go-kart. I mean, how I don't know, is that possible? But there's the funny thing. There's the funny thing about engineering. Um, Mechanical engineers know their stuff. Rack and pinion steer. Wait, are you serious? Is that how they do it? Or is that a joke? Rack and pinion steering? Is that how they do it? Um, anyway, what do you call it? The thing about engineers. So there's a genre of guy that's like really good at cars. Like they know exactly how cars work. Um, and many mechanical engineers are like this, but many others aren't. Um, and it's funny because you could have someone who's like an expert at mechanical engineering when it comes to like like simple mechanisms in a car or this or that. They're gonna draw a blank and they're not gonna know like how the stuff works. Um, but that's the meta. The meta of how engineering works is you have operations people who are basically the technicians and the specialists who know how to like put the stuff together, and then you got the engineers who could put the stuff together if they needed to, but they're basically used for their brains. They're just used to design the stuff. But many a time, the people in operations actually know how to. I would say that many of them are better engineers than most engineers. They just don't have a degree to show it. Um, but yeah, let's see here. What else we got? It's real rack and pinion steering. Oh man, is it? What are the trade-offs of rack and pinion steering? Is it just because it does it use a lot of force? Is it slow? Um, is there a problem with backlash? Uh, by the way, rack and pinion is the clumsiest name ever devised for a gearing system. It's like rack and pinion. I don't know, man. Deeply unserious gear type. Like a helical bevel gear or something like that. Like that's like it has an air of authority to it. Like like if I said, "Hey, I'm gonna put a," okay, shit, I was gonna make a funny joke, but I can't say it. Um, I put a helical bevel gear on your defibrillator. Like you'd be like, "Oh, that's a very good decision." I'm sure that was that's gonna increase the efficacy of uh of it. They used a more complicated worm gear system, which turned into a series of linkages. Rack and pinion is more simple steering. Wheel column is connected to a pinion gear and turns the rack. I could kind of see it. I'm assuming it'd be like this, where you have like a fixed thing up here, and you got the rack and pinion right there, and like it's probably like a it's like a pirate ship. So you got the rack. What do you call it? So that's rotating, and then that's doing linear motion. And it can go here, that goes that there and there or something like that, which leads to oh yeah, which leads to the wheels going in that direction, that direction or that direction. I'm assuming that that's probably how it works. No, I could see why this is a problem. The problem is that it would be it would weigh too much, I think. Cuz like you got like huge linkages and you'd probably have a very big what do you call it? Rack gear system. That's cool. I mean, I'm assuming that's how it works. Maybe it's not how it works, but um I mean, if we're going to be honest here, if we're going to be honest, um even if this isn't how exactly it's done, this would work. This would work. You gotta trust me on this. It's that system would work. Maybe it wouldn't work. I don't know. I do think it would work though. See, Goosnav is never wrong in his engineering methodologies. You just need to trust me. All right. Are we almost done with this?
Are we there yet? Gee whiz. How long is he gonna be drawing the shopping cart for?
Oh yeah, by the way, if you guys want me to draw something, uh, comment down below, and I'll draw the things you want me to draw. Comment down below. Comment down below. Because if you comment, beware though. Because if you comment, I might actually draw what you're saying. You might bring something into the world that you didn't really realize the consequences of before you asked for me to draw it. Yeah. Dude, rack and pinion steering. Okay, man. Okay, man. That's actually kind of epic. Okay. Shoot, how do you do the Asperger's voice? Okay. No. Oh, gosh. How do you do it? How do you do it?
All right. Now this is the epic. This is
No, that's got a. It's not. It doesn't have the twang. It doesn't have the twang. There's like a twang to it. There's a twang to the Aspie voice. Okay, we're gonna get a little weird here, fellas. You're gonna have to bear with me, okay? I'm gonna cycle through voices, and it's gonna be annoying. But by the end of it, we're gonna have a nice voice, okay? Actually, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but maybe I'll give it a shot.
okay. All right. This is epic.
That doesn't work.
Okay. This is my this is my Fortnite collect.
No, that's too like it's too nerdy. It's when you talk like this, it's not about being a nerd. It's something deeper. It's something more visceral.
Okay.
Maybe the actually is the route to do this.
Actually,
There we go. I think we might have it.
actually, a rock and pinion.
No, fuck. That's not good. That's not good.
Actually,
All right. I'm gonna do this on my own time. I'm gonna do this on my own time. All right. Drone guide. So the drone guide tells you where to go. How do you spell assistant? I think that's how you spell assistant. Something like that. Something like that. Goosnav is a deeply insensitive, hypocritical person. Turbo. Is labeling good or bad? I don't know. Turbo switch. um, mono. It's a monopropellant. And okay. So the problem is, as you can tell from the force balance of this shopping cart, you can tell that if I turned on that monoprop engine, it's around. You've been here since the skit days. Oh, I appreciate it. I want to get back into it. I want to get back into it. I'm slowly figuring it out. I think I might have a winning strategy. So here's the method. So the monoprop engine is gonna cause it's going to cause the shopping cart to go in circles. But if you have a force, this is going to apply a force on the ground that does a different direction. So maybe the force balance should actually balance out. You still roll with that crew? Which crew? The crew that where we made the skits in the past, like the old stuff. Um, Damn, that's been a long. That's you're talking like almost a decade ago. Geez, there's been many crews. The thing is, there's been many crews. There's been many places I've been, and many crews. We've been cruising for many years. Um, Dang, I think all the crews that have existed have gone away. Now, I do keep in touch with many of the people who I worked on videos with, but many of us have drifted away. Unfortunately, it's just how time is. That's just the nature of the business. I don't know, or not the business, just the nature of life. Um, but yeah, we got ourselves a comic. Now this comic, I don't even know what. Like, quite frank, I've been listening to some Russian literature. What is it? What's the guy's name? The guy who wrote Crime and Punishment, Dostoevsky. I listened to Dostoevsky, and and I came up with this comic. I was like, look at how philosophical Dostoevsky is. Let me let me get a piece of that action. Let me do something that's more kind of verbose and, I don't know, meandering. And then I drew this, and it's like, I guess I can kind of see what it's trying to say, but not really. I don't really completely understand what this. I don't know what I was going for with this. I kind of do. There's definitely like an obvious read on it, but I don't know, man. It's is this going to be one of my all-time bangers? No. But is this going to, I don't know. Will this pay the bills? No. Will this but will this be able to fill a page in a book that I put out? Maybe. Maybe. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of the times, like, you can't really think about what you're doing. You just need to put something out there, and put something out there where it's like you kind of are like, that's interesting. You know, I'll think about it. Like, if it's something that makes you think, I'd say that it's it might be worth putting out there. If it's something that you don't like, I don't know, that you find abhorrent on some level, you don't believe in, then I don't think you should make it. Um, but I don't know. But here's the other thing with art, which is kind of crazy. Most of the, oh shit. Oh, by the way, if you want me to draw something, request, like, just say stuff you want me to draw. I'd buy that book. I have a book currently for sale on my website, goosnav.com. So if you want the book, it's on sale now. And all the copies are signed. So and that's not going to be the case for all of the books that I put out. I might decide to, like, publish this on Amazon after my first release and just forget about it. Um, but for the time being, the only ones I'm going to sell are on my site, and I'm only going to sell them for like a limited amount of time. Um, but yeah, all of them are signed. All of them are signed. You can pre-order it now. I think I put a ton of I put a ton of effort into it. It's If you guys have read the Calvin and Hobbes books, like those comic collections, they, I think, have like 300 and like 17, or like they have like, I think, just a bit over 300 comics um per book. But my book that I'm currently releasing has over 500 comics and drawings in it. So so you're definitely getting your money's worth. Um, and I don't know, it's I think you guys will enjoy it. I think it's I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. Um, yeah. But man, dude, it took me so long. I thought it was gonna take me like 3 weeks. It's been like almost 2 months, I think. Right around 2 months of my time put into this. Um, yeah, no, it's a dude. Making a book is a slog. Making a book takes it out of you. Um, but yeah, I know I'm excited about. I still need to come up with like the title of the book. I'm still figuring that out. Um, I don't know, man. Book titles are. I have a lot of funny titles, but like, there's also a point of like you don't want to make it ridiculous. You know, you don't want to make the book just like seems like something stupid, like an afterthought, which a lot of funny titles do. You know, they're really funny, but I think they reduce the credibility of what you're actually doing. Or at least one of my friends and I talked about this, and that's kind of the argument he made. Um, but yeah, no, it really depends. It really depends. You know. Bu- Speaking of depends, what does this comic even mean? Can one of you guys explain what you guys think this comic means at all, or give me an idea of like what to draw next? We'll look at either. Um, so why do you? Oh, okay. Oh shit! I've smeared it off. All right. You know what they say when you smear the drawing, uh, try and incorporate those smears into what you made. Ooh, dang! I broke one of my own rules. Dang. Typically, when you draw, you finish one panel, including the text, and then you go to the next panel, or you wait for it to dry, which I haven't done. I'm I'm a scoundrel. I'm a rapscallion. I don't know. It would be crazy though. Imagine, dude. I buy like I contract out like the funniest people I know, and I take I take the what's the word for it? South Park method. Expensive. So I take the South Park method. I find some really funny people. I contract them, and then um, I basically pay us to like through a committee come up with the jokes for our comics. Um, I wonder what that would be like. I feel like that definitely um, I don't know. It's definitely there's definitely like you can't do that. You can't make your comic strip by a committee. It's got to be you. You know, it's got to be your voice. But imagine if you did do that. What would the quality of the comic strip be like? Would it be funny? And but then again, doesn't Marvel already do this? Doesn't isn't that how they make their stupid comic books? Actually, I don't think I've ever really read a Marvel comic book, so I can't really say if it's stupid or not. But don't they already like make this stuff by committee? I don't think you've ever. I don't think I've ever seen anybody make comic strips by committee. So that would be crazy. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think it would be like? What would it be? Would it be stupid? Would it be interesting? Tactical stick, a normal stick with a bunch of overrated gun attachments. That's a good idea. Okay, tactical stick. I like that. I think I could make that a card in my card game. Tactical stick. There we go. Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done. Speaking of tactical sticks, I've noticed an interesting phenomenon. Over the years, I've talked with my followers, and I don't think it's been a process of how I talk. I think it's just there's been an emergent impre there's been an emergent phenomenon with respect to how my followers and I talk. And I think there's almost like a subtle language or kind of speaking style we've developed where I don't even know where it came from. Maybe it's like it directly comes from how the comics are written. I don't know. But it's like there's like we use like the words and such like there's a lot of verbose wordings. Um it's like almost there's almost like a cutesy element to it, but it's like not. I don't even know. I don't even know what it is, but I definitely think the dialectical interaction between me and the people who view the content um, leads to interesting and incalculable outcomes. Meaning, what I mean by incalculable is like you can't just like think of what it would be. You can't just say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to come up with a good idea," and then you come up with a good idea. There's some ideas that can only happen through like talking with hundreds of people, and like slowly a style of speaking emerges, or slowly this emerges or that emerges, which I don't know. And I'm not the only one who goes through this. It's like I feel like a lot of people who are who have some at least some followings um, have this going for them. But it's definitely a new phenomenon, right? Um, it's definitely a new phenomenon where, well, anyway, I think I've made the point. I've made the point. I won't belabor it. Um, Here's the other thing. It's like when it comes to life, how do you know how much you should say? Because there's definitely cutoffs. Um, you know, there's definitely a point where the amount of stuff you say or what you say becomes very boring. With that being said, sometimes things you say need to, what do you call it? They need to have, they need to be a little long. They need to have some information to it. But I'd say in those cases where you use more words than may be absolutely necessary, or it's the subject matter is long. The attention span of people, you could say, oh, it's TikTok. TikTok stops the attention span. But I read something interesting. It's like this guy was arguing that education isn't. It's not meant to be fun. Education is not fun. Education is not like scrolling on YouTube and like enjoying content. That's more of the illusion of education, like genuinely learning something and trying to understand it, like on a deep level, like on a deep usable level, actually actually hurts because you're spending your mental energy to like try and process the information, to try and download it into your the neural net of your brain. Um, it's, I mean, AI, right? When you train AI, it uses energy, and like people by definition, I think don't like, well, anything, no, nothing like likes using energy. Because the more you use energy, the more, number one, things kind of break down. And even if they don't break down, well, they break down, but with the human body, that doesn't matter as much because um, the body just kind of regenerates itself. But things break down and things use energy. And in the wild, where there really is not a lot of energy to spare, you can't really do that. You're not really allowed to just use energy willy nilly. So the use of energy for human beings is it's painful. It's painful. And one thing that uses a ton of energy is learning, is deep thought, deep mental problem solving. And the crazy thing is, like, a lot of people think, oh, no, your brain doesn't use more energy for more thought. It's like, no, your brain works similar to a computer. It's not exactly a computer, but it works similar to it. And and it's bounded by the laws of physics of our universe. And one of those laws is like, you know, you you basically, to do work, you need to spend some energy. Energy is work. So if you're solving computational problems in your head, if you're kind of reorganizing the structures of your brain to accommodate for more information, obviously, you're going to be using more energy too. And I think there was like a school of thought a while back that said, "Oh, the brain doesn't use energy. The brain just like exists." But we know now that that's not the case. I think there's an interesting study where, what's the word for it? Chess players, chess players engaged in really difficult chess, they actually use a lot of energy. They use a ton of energy. Like, they burn tons of calories from their advanced chess matches. And the only reason that would happen, the only way that possibly happens, is if the brain uses a lot of energy. So anyway, so anyway, learning is difficult because you use energy. And the reason you don't want to use energy is because the people who used tons of energy would probably die. Because what happens, or some of them live, but I think that's more of a product of industrialization. But in the past, if you used too much energy, what happens if there's like a bear that you just sprinted to chase down a rabbit, and now a bear just pops out behind you know behind a tree, and you're exhausted because you just chased down a rabbit. Are you going to be able to run or do something? It's like, no, you're out of breath. Or what if there's a person who's trying to murder you, that pops out behind the tree, the same tree that the bear popped out of. Um, you know, or someone tries to stab you. It's like, you just spent all your energy on something small, and now you're gonna die. So I think this is why a lot of people get fat. That's why a lot of people get fat because they don't like spending energy. Now the problem is, like, you can say, well, but not everyone is fat, so this disproves your point. It's like, okay, it's a different evolutionary strategy. Some people are more willing to take the risk of spending a lot of energy. Um, it's what if you spent a ton of time on setting a bunch of traps. He spent a lot of time and energy building animal traps and setting them. Um, so and then you go out in the forest and you set all the traps, and you catch some bunnies or something, and now you have some food, right? Um, but it took a lot of time and took a lot of energy, and it was a slow burn, but it paid off in the end. Now it might not necessarily have paid off. Like what happens if none of the traps spring, or what happens if they don't actually it doesn't actually yield that many calories. Then you got a little bit of a problem. Um, but what do you call it? So I think high metabolism evolves in tandem with other traits. Like if you have a high metabolism, then you probably need to be pretty intelligent, because if you're not very intelligent, then you won't be able to use it effectively. Like I'm burning tons of calories. I'm willing to do a lot of effort. Um, you know, there probably needs to be a secondary trait that ensures that that effort isn't going to waste, if that makes sense. But there's a counter argument to that. The problem is that conscientiousness, which is basically how hard someone works, is decoupled from IQ. Like there's no correlation. So, um, it might not actually be the case that there's actually any other requirement besides just hard work. Um, in which case, it's like, well, then why are there fat people and why are there high metabolism people? The reason would be that some it's survival of well, it's not even survival of the fittest. It's like who survived, and maybe who got lucky. It's like a lot of people who expend a lot of energy might have not been lucky and died, but some of them survived and some of the other people survived, and you know they both survived, so there's utility in both of them. I'd say that's probably the accurate way of looking at it. Anyway, we're gonna draw a tactical stick right now. We're gonna draw a tactical stick. Man. Okay, this looks too much like a gun already. We gotta find a way to make this even better. How are we gonna make this look not like a super gun? Really depends on how we continue the stick drawing. Man. All right. Oh man. Okay. By the way, let me know what else you guys want me to draw, and I'll draw stuff. Right now we're drawing a tactical stick. We're drawing a tactical stick. If you guys have any other drawing ideas, I'm more than willing. I'm more than willing and more than able, or somewhat able, to draw what's necessary. So what do you got? You got a scope. Um, what else do you need? You need maybe a little compass. This is the stupidest way to put on a compass. No. We'll put a grenade. How does a grenade work? Oh, geez, I'm forgetting. Ooh, I think you definitely got that part. You got the pin. And you got the little pineapple-y thing on top. I used to think the old potato masher grenades, I was like, well, no, those were actually pretty good. But it's like, I don't know, man. I think the classic pineapple grenade is actually This is actually a pretty good design. We gotta be honest here. Pineapple grenade, it pretty good. Pretty well designed. Oh man, this perspective is terrible. Let me think here. Ah, yes, we got to do a flare gun. Got to do a little flare gun. Women's rights. Women's rights. I should write a scary story book. Goosnav's scary stories to tell in the dark. You know how all of the scary stories have like a have a title to them? I'm gonna have one of the titles called Women's Rights. I don't know what's gonna be in that story. I don't know what the theme is. But one thing I can promise you is that that story would be entertaining. You'll never find a bigger champion, bigger advocate and ally of women's rights than Henry H. Goosnav. All right. Let's see here. How is this going to work? So we got that. We need a compass of some sort. Ooh, see the problem with this stick. Okay, there we go. I think this was funny. This is funny. These work because of the illogical elements. Why is the scope pointing at a stick right in front of it? And why does that stick, like, what's the point of a freaking compass right in front of a, actually, shoot, am I going to be able to make this look like a compass? Oh, jeez. Oh, man, that perspective is horrific. I look like I'm part of a French art commune. Jeez. Oh, gosh. All right. You guys get you get the idea. You get the idea. Oh. Okay. Get the idea. There we go. We got that. There we go. There we go. Good. There we go. Okay. I mean, I guess you can kind of tell what's going on here. You can kind of tell. Yeah. I think this is good enough for government work. All right. You know what's cool? I think they came up with I think Google Gemini just released an AI that can color in drawings. Maybe I experiment with that. I feel like, dude, imagine if all my comics were in color. That'd be cool. Tacte. The problem is that coloring takes so long, man. Especially if you're doing it right. Tactic. All. You'd think, oh, you're just coloring something in. Who cares? Tactical. But man, coloring in stuff is, ooh. Bro, the Marines. If you need something to get colored in, you need to call in the freaking Marines. They pull the crayons out of their noses. They color in for you. But man, you need the grit and the skill of the Marines in order to even begin the challenge of coloring something. Stay. Why do you draw the eye like that? I don't know. Like, so you just gotta change it up. You gotta change it up. You gotta break the style every once in a while. All right, I think we might be good. Anything else? Anything else you guys want? Laser grip flashlight stock. Laser. Maybe a laser. Thing is, you don't want to add too much. If you add too much, it just becomes cluttered. Stock might be good. Well, or what do you call it? Not stock. A grip, but I don't know where that would be. Using a freaking laser pointer. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's good. Anything else? What should we draw? Dialectical interaction between me and my followers. That is not what dialectic means. I challenge you to defend the use of that word in that context. Yes. Okay. Dialectic, if we're going to look at Hegel's view of it. And quite frankly, I'm not a prescriptivist when it comes to definitions. Pretty sure that's what prescriptivist, I think, means like, what do you call it? Definitions have fixed meanings, and grammar and all that stuff has fixed meanings, which I disagree with. So the dialectic, oh, you can't use a dialectic like that. It's like, okay, fuck. Okay. So I have a argument, and then there's an antithesis, or this is let's say a thesis, antithesis, and then a synthesis. So you have a point. Someone, you through dialogue, you bring that point over to another person. That other person interacts with what you just said in a putting in their own kind of thing on top of it. And that's actually, let's put it in another way. You have a thesis. The other person is different than you and opposes it in some way. Maybe it's an antithesis. It's the opposite of what you believe. But by looking at both the thesis and the opposite of your thesis, you can have a synthesis, which pushes forward kind of the what do you call it? The truth of what you guys were looking at, and iterates it into like a new kind of idea. And that new idea has an opposite, and that opposite, you take both of those, the synthesis of kind of the idea and its kind of counter. What I mean by dialectic is this is like kind of like Newton's method, which is basically like you're guessing and checking. And the idea is by opposite ideas, there's probably something you both miss, which turns into like a new idea, which has its own splits. The cutesy secret language is the synthesis of my way of speaking and my followers' ways of speaking, which culminates in the synthesis, which is a new form of art or kind of a literary approach. That's what I'm saying. Through a dialectical process, meaning that the interaction between me and the other, you have something new emerge from it. And my point is, alone with just the thesis, you don't have the power of a dialectical process which iterates towards a new outcome. And perhaps I wasn't as clear on that, but this is what I meant from the very beginning. That's what I mean by the dialectic. It's a process by which, even in art, or maybe especially in art, you can reach something new through interaction, conversational dialectical interaction, something like that. I'm being difficult. It doesn't really matter. I just wanted to give you a hard time. Okay, I'll give it to you. You're right. That makes sense. Thank you for humoring my pedantic heckling. Okay, I'm not. I don't want to be I don't want to be a hard ass. I'm just oh, what do you go? I just wanted to be clear about what I was saying. But no, I appreciate the I appreciate the kind of I like pushback. Um, because I am an argumentative type, but I also think that there's a lot. It's better to be a little bit rough than to. That's something we miss in our current society. We don't like people aren't rough anymore. People are too nice. You can't, dude. No one get like I don't know. Sometimes they get in fights, but people don't get in fights nearly as much as they did in the past. Um, yeah, people. I don't know, man. Like the current world just isn't as real. It's not as real. It's not as like you know but it's like you think, oh, in this world where there's like less violence and people are nicer, you'd expect there to be like, oh, well then that means everyone's doing better. That means that everyone's, actually, oh, they don't fight. That means it's more peaceful. But it's like, no, 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 no. um, oh, people are being all nice to each other. In my corporate emails, no one's getting upset. No one raises their voice. Everyone's just nice. It's like, okay, I think we live in very dangerous times. You'd think, oh, people are nice. We must live in safe times. But no, man. You say the wrong thing, you lose your job. You lose your job. You lose your job. People hate you, at your job or it's all a big stupid popularity contest. And you could say, "Oh, well, that's how it always is." It's like, no, I, you like in the past, you could say things. You could say things to people. You could say, "Hey, fuck you, man. I'm doing my job here." Or you could get into a fight with somebody, and is your life gonna get ruined? No. Um, like today, like I mean, today I feel like it's almost unthinkable to say like, "Hey man, I'm doing my fucking job here. You wanna fucking tussle or something like that." It's like I lived in New York for a while, and what people told me before I went to New York was, "Oh, people are gonna be assholes there. People are gonna be really mean. They're gonna be very mean. Everyone in New York is mean." But it's like I never interacted with that. Like a place notorious for like kind of a being rough around the edges was very tame, very tame. I think it's like the HRification of our culture. But it's not good. It's not good. It's just kind of it's taking violence and putting it underneath the surface. It's making it's just fakeness, man. It's not real. Like you want to be able to consciously interact with everything, I think. Like if I have a problem with somebody, I'd rather hear it and I'd also rather it not be the end of both of our careers. I'd rather and that's like men. That's how men interact. Like it's like you have a problem. Maybe you yell at each other. Maybe you like get upset. Maybe you fight. Maybe it's like it goes right up to the edge of fighting. Um, but then like you're still friends. Like it's like you need to go through that. But like if you put it all under the surface because you want everyone needs to be nice. It all needs to be nice. Um, Man, I don't know. It's like I think it's actually a type of dystopia, if we're honest. Um, we need to bring back dueling. It's like the problem with all this like kind of passive aggressive BS, especially if you're trying to build like something big. If you're trying to do something big in the world, like if you're trying to build the Hoover Dam, you can't be guessing around at like, you know, oh, do people secretly hate me? Do people like me? You can't be playing these stupid games. Um, if you're doing something big and important, you need to know what the people on your team think. You need to know like that people are on your side or kind of there, I think. And maybe this is overly idealistic, perhaps. I don't know. and I don't think you'll ever know kind of what people really think behind their backs. But I mean, kind of like trying to like lower that gap, trying to make it so that people are more honest and more upfront. I think that that's always a good thing. And the more passive aggressive your society is, the less you're actually able to do. The more distrust there is, the more just things suck, I think. So I don't know. I don't know. Jeez, what the heck did I didn't even think. I just drew something. I just drew a freaking jellyfish with a laser gun. What the heck, man? You know, sometimes you just gotta draw a freaking jellyfish with a laser gun, man. It's like this is how life is. All right, I think that might be it. That might be it for today. Anyway, I appreciate the conversations. I appreciate the support and the ideas. Check out my book. Check out my book. It's full of crazy. Enjoy it. But yeah, let's all make it a goal to get into a fight this week. That'd be great. The problem is that you're gonna go to jail if you get into a fight. It's like our entire society, both legally and in the corporate sense, makes it impossible for you to exercise like belligerent masculinity, which sucks. But anyway, all right, nice live. I'll maybe do this again, but I don't know if we'll see. All right, peace out, guys. See ya.